I love using the slow cooker any time of year, but definitely in the fall, it just always feels so good to use it. So I'm excited today because we're making a slow cooker farro white bean soup. It's going to be absolutely delicious, easy to make, super yummy, filled with lots of yummy veggies, and it's just going to be really good and cozy and satisfying. And as always, anything you want to know is in the description box down below, and you can find the full run-out recipe on the blog. And let's just start throwing some things in the slow cooker. Hairs up, so you know we mean business. We're going to add a can of these great northern beans. Now we're going to add 2 cans in, but we're only starting with the 1 can first, and we're going to add in liquid and all to this. We're going to just throw it right in there. We will be adding in another can later, but this first can I want because we're going to blend this up in an immersion blender after a little while and help to make it like have a creamy base. I've got onion and garlic. We're going to chop up the whole onion, and then we'll do a few cloves of garlic. We'll just throw them right in there. So let's do that first. Listen, I'm Italian, but I always hate peeling garlic. It's just never fun. So I got my little cloves peeled. There's still some skin on this one. Like I said, I'm just throwing them in here whole because we're going to go in with the immersion blender. And now I just need to chop this onion up. For the onion, I just cut it into like big rough pieces like this. I'm not being particular about chopping it. We don't need to do that. Gonna add in 4 cups of water. Cover all that. We're gonna take some better than bouillon. This stuff is so good. And we're gonna scoop some of that in. I don't have a spoon handy, so I don't advise doing this, but it's what I'm gonna do in this moment. So we have to improvise. We're gonna let this cook now for like 1 to 2 hours, and then everything will soften, and then we'll be able to pop in the immersion blender and blend it up and get that base nice and creamy. I'm gonna set this right now on high for, I always forget how to use this until hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. Whoops, like I said, I literally always forget how to use this and I gotta like figure it out again. I'll set it on 2 hours right now on high. While we are waiting for our little soup to do its thing, I'm gonna cut up my other veggies. So I wanted to use a red bell pepper and some kale in here. Now you can of course use any vegetables that you like, that you have on hand. Zucchini would be great, carrots, really anything you want. If you want to take the kale out and do spinach, you can, but spinach just wilts a lot quicker. So that's why I like kale, because it's a little hardier. So it truly just comes down to like preference, whatever veggies you have on hand. But I thought that the red bell pepper and the kale would be a nice little addition to this soup. And these can kind of be like a nice rough chop. They don't have to be super precise or anything. Now I got some Dino kale here, which is my favorite kale. It's so good. If you've never had Dino kale, you need to try. I have about 10 leaves here. I got like a big batch of it from the farmer's market, but you could use any kale that you like. If you use a different kale, you have to cut the like inner stem off, but because of how Dino kale is, you don't have to do that. So I'm just cutting it in half, and then I'm just gonna do like this. These 2 veggies are done for later. We could set them to the side. It's been about 2 hours, and we are going to use an immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, I highly suggest you get one, because I did not have one for a long time, and this just made such a difference in my life. Instead of scooping boiling hot soup into the Vitamix, I can just go and blend this up. And then once we blend it up, we'll add in our farro, our veggies, the other beans, and then we'll just let it go a little bit longer, and that's it. Pop in the immersion blender. I'll give it a little mix too before we start. This is another one of those things that I literally always forget how to use it until, okay. We got everything blended up in here, so now we'll add in the farro, which I absolutely love farro. If you don't want to use farro, you can always use like quinoa, you could use barley, you could use bulgur, plenty of options. Then we'll throw in our kale, and we'll get in those red bell pepper. This is such a beautiful soup. See, this is why I'm glad we chopped everything before, because now I gotta slide. Now I'm gonna open up my other can of beans. These beans I did drain. Beautiful. Let's give this a little mix for a second. Oh my gosh, this already just looks So good. It looks so cozy and comforting. The last thing I'm going to do for right now is add a little flour slurry. So right in here I got 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of water. Whisk this. You don't want this to be like a thick dough or anything. We're just adding it in to give some thickness to the soup eventually as it cooks in there. So just whisk it. I'm just gonna pour this into the soup as well and give this another mix around. You could even see how it kind of just changed the color of the broth too. We went from like something a little bit more translucent to something a little bit more opaque. We're gonna let the soup cook for another 2 hours on high. Every time I cannot figure this out. Do not ask me why, because I don't know, but I can't figure it out. All right, so 2 hours on high. We'll let this cook. We'll come check it out. And by then our farro should be nice and soft. Our kale should be nice and soft. Our bell peppers should be nice and soft. And I just think that this is just a really nice, cozy, comforting bowl of soup for fall. And it's great for dinner, you know, it's like just so perfect for those chilly nights. Have it with some little crusty bread, of course. And it's just gonna be a good one. I really wish you guys could smell how good it smells in here. It's been 2 hours, our soup is looking beautiful, and it's a little bubbly in there, and I can't wait to just open up this lid and show you, because you're gonna be like, I need a bowl right now. At this point, you could add salt and pepper if you want to. I'll taste it and see if I need to. Are you ready? The moment we've been waiting for. We've been waiting all day for this. Da-da-da. Oh my goodness. This is just bubbly, soupy, beautiful perfection. That farro is nice and cooked up now, which is exactly what we wanted, of course. The kale is like deepened in color, darkened. You know, you could tell that it's definitely cooked now. It just smells so cozy and delicious. Let's plate some up. And this is like, gets very thick, which I like in a soup. It's not like a stew, obviously, but it's just like a really, like, you just know this is like a hearty bowl. Something else that I love is that the bell pepper and the onion give a nice little bit of sweetness to this soup. So that's really nice as well. Let's get a little extra broth on top. It just looks so good. Okay, of course we have to have this with bread. This is the Trader Joe's Everything Tuscan bread, if you haven't had this yet. So good. Plop it in. Soup and bread, why is it just the best combo? All right, let's give her a taste. It's hot. Yeah, that's really good. It's so good. There we have it, a slow cooker white bean farro soup that's creamy and delicious and perfect for fall, perfect for cold nights. And I think if Adam Driver ate this, he would say, good soup, right? That's how he says it. I think it's just like, good soup. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you try this recipe out. It's such an easy one, as you saw, really just putting everything in the slow cooker, waiting around. And if you like my videos, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. As always, the Fall Out recipes on the blog. If you haven't seen the other fall recipes yet, go check them out. And of course, I have another fall recipe coming for you next week. So I'll see you then. Bye.